Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today.
Ooh, deep dive.
Yeah.
Dig it.
So today's deep dive is going to be on the European car industry.
Okay.
And we're going to be looking at specifically an interview with Nicola Armaroli. He's a chemist and an expert in electric mobility.
Okay.
And this was featured on Energy Ultra.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Armaroli, he had some pretty strong opinions about what's going on with the European car industry and what's causing some of the challenges that they're facing. And it's not all just about electric vehicles.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So to start off, Armaroli uses this term. He says that the Italian and European car industries, they're stuck in this perfect storm.
Oh, perfect storm.
Yes.
Okay, so what does he mean by that?
Yeah. So he's saying that there's all these factors that are coming together and they're really hitting these car industries hard.
Hmm.
So first off, he says that European leaders just haven't been proactive enough.
Not proactive enough.
Okay. Yeah, they haven't had the foresight to really think about the future of the industry and create an industrial policy that could help them thrive.
So they weren't thinking ahead.
They weren't thinking ahead, and this is a big problem because the world's changing so rapidly,
It is. Yeah.
and they haven't been adapting.
So he's saying that they're kind of just stuck in the past a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of his argument. And then another thing he talks about is that the policies around electric vehicles have been really confused and poorly managed.
Hmm. Okay, so what's wrong with the policies?
Well, he argues that instead of encouraging people to switch to electric vehicles, these policies have actually created skepticism among consumers.
That's a problem.
Yeah, it is, because it's really slowed down the adoption of EVs.
Wow. It seems like they're almost working against their own goals then if they're trying to promote EVs.
It does seem that way, and it's really hurting the industry. And this is where it gets really interesting, because he has this anecdote about Italy specifically.
Okay. What happened in Italy?
So in Italy, the government offered incentives for electric cars.
Okay. Makes sense.
But guess what?
What?
These incentives, they ran out in just 9 hours.
9 hours.
9 hours. Can you imagine?
Wow. So the demand was huge.
Huge. And it just shows you how much interest there is in electric vehicles. But then when you compare that to the decades of support that traditional vehicles have received, it really highlights the disconnect.
Right, for sure. Like they're not putting their money where their mouth is.
Exactly. It's like they're saying one thing but doing another, and that lack of clear strategy, it's really hurting the industry.
Makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like they're sending mixed messages.
Totally. And it's making people hesitant to embrace the change.
Right. I mean, if you're not sure what the government's going to do next, it's hard to make a big investment like buying an electric car.
Exactly. It's a huge decision, and people need to feel confident that they're making the right choice.
For sure. So what else does Armaroli have to say about this?
Well, he argues that this writing was on the wall for combustion engines for years, and European manufacturers just missed the opportunity
To innovate.
to innovate, to
Yeah.
adapt. They were so focused on these outdated technologies that they just didn't see what was coming.
So they missed the boat.
They missed the boat big time, and now they're playing catch up.
Yeah, and that's never a good position to be in,
No, it's not.
especially in a fast-moving industry like this.
Right. And so now we're seeing the consequences of that lack of foresight.
Okay, so blaming electric cars or China or Tesla for the industry's struggles is kind of missing the point then.
I think you would say yes.
Okay, so it's more about a failure to evolve.
Exactly. It's about being stuck in the past instead of embracing the future.
Right, and he really drives this point home with this comparison he makes. He says that clinging to combustion engines, it's like holding onto horse-drawn carriages while the world is building airplanes.
That's a powerful image.
It is, and it really highlights how far behind the European car industry has fallen.
That's a wake-up call for sure.
Yeah, they need to wake up and smell the electric coffee.
I love that electric coffee.
Yeah.
Got to stay energized for the future.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the perfect storm that's hitting the European car industry. They lacked foresight, they had confused policies, and they missed the opportunity to innovate.
Right. So they're clinging to the past.
Exactly.
So what happened while Europe hesitated? Who took advantage of this opportunity? China, they saw the potential of electric vehicles early on, and they really went all in.
So they invested heavily in building their own electric vehicle industry.
Yeah, exactly. And now look at them. They're leading the global EV market.
It's like Europe blinked and China just zoomed past them.
Yeah, it's a classic example of how quickly things can change in a globalized economy.
So if China's in the lead, where does that leave Europe?
Well, Armaroli is pretty clear about this.
Well-
He thinks that clinging to outdated technology, it's a losing strategy.
Okay, and he even goes so far as to say that the Dieselgate scandal, it was like a symbolic funeral for the traditional combustion engine.
Wow, funeral. That's a pretty strong word.
It is. So what do you think he means by that? Well, I think he's saying that Dieselgate really exposed the shortcomings of the industry.
It showed how they were prioritizing profits over the environment and even the health of their own customers.
Yeah, and it really damaged the reputation of the European car industry.
Right, and it also showed how they were clinging to this dying technology instead of embracing the future.
So it was a wake-up call, but maybe it was too late.
So Armaroli is saying that the era of the combustion engine is basically over.
Yeah, he thinks it's a dying technology, and no amount of denial or resistance can change that.
It's like trying to bring back the horse and buggy in the age of the automobile.
Exactly. It's just not going to happen.
So what does he think Europe should do now
Well, he says they need to make some big decisions and fast.
about their automotive future?
Yeah, and it's not just about building more electric cars.
Okay, so what else does he have in mind?
He's calling for a more holistic view of mass mobility.
So moving beyond this car-centric approach.
Right. He thinks we need to rethink how we move people and goods, especially in urban areas.
So things like public transportation, cycling, walking.
Yeah, exactly. And creating smart cities that prioritize efficiency and sustainability.
So integrated transportation systems, seamless connectivity, and a focus on reducing congestion and emissions.
Exactly. It's about creating a system that works for everyone, not just car owners.
And this makes sense, especially when you consider that car ownership in a lot of European cities is becoming less attractive.
Especially for younger generations.
Right. They're prioritizing convenience, affordability, and sustainability, and that often means looking beyond car ownership.
Yeah, they're not as attached to the idea of owning a car as previous generations were.
It used to be a symbol of freedom and independence,
Right, but now for a lot of young people, it's seen as an expensive burden.
especially with rising costs and limited parking in urban areas.
So it's just not as practical or appealing anymore
So it sounds like we're talking about a pretty fundamental shift,
in how we think about transportation, yeah.
not just in the car industry, but in our whole approach to mobility.
And that's where Armaroli's perspective becomes even more interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't just offer criticisms, he actually points towards some solutions, a potential path forward for the European car industry.
Oh, so he's not all doom and gloom.
No, he's actually quite optimistic. I think he believes that Europe has the potential to be a leader in this new era of mobility, but they need to act decisively and embrace change.
So what does he suggest? What's the way forward?
Well, he says that Europe needs to fully embrace innovation and become a leader in new mobility solutions.
So it's not just about building more electric cars.
No, it's about going beyond electric cars and exploring a wider range of technologies and approaches.
Okay, like what specifically? Give us some examples.
Well, think about things like smart infrastructure connected vehicles, autonomous driving, and shared mobility platforms.
So it's about creating a more integrated and sustainable transportation ecosystem.
Exactly. One that meets the needs of a changing society.
So it's not just about building a better car, it's about reimagining the entire concept of mobility. Exactly. It's about moving away from this idea that everyone needs to own a car.
And towards a more flexible, efficient, and accessible system that provides a range of transportation options.
Right. It's about giving people choices and making sure that everyone has access to safe, affordable, and sustainable transportation.
That's a pretty exciting vision. But can the European car industry actually make this leap? I mean, they seem to be struggling just to keep up with electric vehicles.
It's definitely a challenge, but Armaroli believes they have the potential.
Okay, what makes them so confident?
Well, he points to their strong history of engineering and innovation.
Europe has always been known for its high-quality cars.
Exactly. And they have a skilled workforce.
So they have the talent and the expertise.
They do, but they need to act quickly and decisively.
So it's a call to action not just for the industry, but for policymakers and investors as well.
Absolutely. Everyone needs to be on board with this vision for a more sustainable and connected future.
It's a collective effort.
And ultimately, it's about creating a transportation system that benefits everyone, not just car manufacturers.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've done a deep dive into the challenges facing the European car industry and explored some potential solutions for the future.
And I think it's clear that we're at a crossroads.
The choices we make today will shape the way we move for generations to come.
It's a fascinating time to be watching this industry evolve, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.
What are your hopes and concerns for the future of transportation? Share your comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful explorations of the world's most pressing issues. Thanks for joining us.